All right, guys. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to a very special episode of the Aftermath podcast. We're going to bring to you our PAN Kids, as well as the fact that this episode has been sponsored by our good friends at Bikes and More, Jimmy Lancaster and them. So if you're in the Hopkinsville area and you need a good bike, you want to go see our good friends at Bikes and More, Jimmy Lancaster and them sponsored this episode because they wanted to support our very own kid champions. These young people went out and represented us at the PAN contest. Before we get into talking to them, I'm going to introduce our other hosts. That would be at my far left, the reputable Calvin,
How you doing?
Professor Andrew,
Hey.
and over here we have Coach Travis, first time on with us, I think.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so now we're going to introduce the actual kids who went out and competed. We're going to start at our far side over there. Young man, tell them your name and how old you are.
I'm Jace. I'm 14.
All right.
I'm Noah and I'm 12.
My name is Derek Hansen and I'm 11 years old.
My name's Liam and I'm 7.
My name's Allie and I'm 10.
I'm Emma and I'm 7.
If your heart just didn't break, I don't know what is wrong with you. All right, the cuteness overload factor is going on. All right, so first I'm going to start with the coaches. Professor Andrew, what is the PAN Kids? What's it about, and why is it that we're so excited?
It is the largest organized Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu event for kids on the planet, period. Anyone who thinks it's your average Naga is far removed from reality. Very bright lights, highly packed arena, enormous event full of some of the most talented practitioners in all of the world. The yellow through green belt divisions this year were something I've never seen. I don't want no part in squirreling with any of those children. The level of jiu-jitsu is become pretty insane, and even pre and post COVID era this year had the most competitors ever. About 4,000 kids signed up for it. Yep.
Over 4,000 kids signed up for a tournament, in which this is not the whole team that we took. Coach Travis, how many kids did we take?
We took 15 kids over there.
So we took 15 kids, all right? And tell us a little bit about the experience from the coaching side, then we'll talk to the kids. One, logistically, we want to thank the RGC Booster Squad for all that they did to help us get the kids there. So that was amazing, the way the parents and everybody came out to support to help these guys get there. So that was part of the logistics. But 15 kids, how many coaches or assistant coaches?
We had 2 coaches there and then probably 2 or 3 assistants as well. Still was absolute madness because I think 11 of the kids competed on Saturday. So that was a full 8-hour workday of absolute insanity. I think the weirdest part was when Liam went because his person didn't show up and it messed everything up, bumped it an hour. So it was absolute chaos trying to make sure every kid had a coach at that point. The amount of bodies in the venue was scary. The reason my voice is gone is because I was screaming, trying to scream over these teenage girls who were in that soprano register, and I could not match their pitch. Like, it's pretty crazy event.
Oh, you lost the pitch battle?
Yeah, definitely. Usually I can get my falsetto up there, but I had no match for these teenage girls that were screaming over me. Really, really wild event, highly talented kids. Their training camp was about 7-8 weeks long. They did 2 hours a day, twice a week of extra training on top of their normal, rigorous training regimen. Pretty wild.
All right, kids. How was training camp?
It was good. He worked their butts off. You right there.
Okay, your dad
Yes.
worked your butts off. All right. Anybody want to tell me a little bit more detail what they got out of training camp?
I think it's just more of like going over the stuff that I knew that I could do and like repeating it in the training camp and like going over some specific stuff and like the meticular details that I didn't 100% get. And that helped me out a lot, I would say.
No. How'd you feel about competing?
My anxiety was through the roof. I mean, it's pretty nerve-wracking saying that it's the largest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament, but I'd say all of us did really good for
All right.
how big the tournament was and how many of us there were.
Okay. No, what was your experience? Was this your first PANs?
Yes.
All right, tell me about it. What'd you think?
I was nervous, like just walking in, even on the days I didn't fight, because there was a lot of people, a lot of kids. It was a lot of people, a lot of kids. It was big, like arena.
How many matches did you have?
I had one.
Okay. All right. Liam, how'd you feel about the tournament?
I was excited but also a little nervous going into it because I didn't know what to expect because it was my first pans.
You want to do it again? Okay. All right. I'm going to hold you to that.
It was the scariest tournament ever for me
Why is that?
because there was a lot of people.
A lot of people? How many was in your bracket? Do you remember?
There was 8.
8. How many matches did you get?
1.
Okay, cool. All right, Miss Emma.
It was good. I was excited at first. I had 2 matches, and it was fun.
I'm glad you had fun. We give it back to Darren. What about your experience, young man?
This would have been my 3rd tournament. I would have had like
This is your 3rd pans?
yes, 3rd pans.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, vet.
You're the
So
veteran over there.
if I had won my first match, then I would have had like 2 more. But I lost to like a kid that did not look my age.
Yeah, I saw pictures of this kid. That kid had a mortgage.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
He was 6 feet tall.
Like,
Every bit of 6
like-
feet tall.
Derek is already my size. We were the same gi. This kid looked like, he is a master 6. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did all right. You were
Bigger
fine.
than Dad.
That guy,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he should have been coded and DNA'd.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got for that. All right.
Oh yeah, it's also nerve wracking going in there every time. It doesn't get better at all.
Doesn't get better at all?
No,
You didn't.
Okay.
it
Okay.
actually gets more nervous.
All right. Who wants to go again? Who wants to do it again? Nobody?
He's talking about who wants to compete at PANs again.
Okay.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Probably everyone.
All right. So what would you do differently this next time?
Probably go down weight bracket tried. Because ultra heavy is too much for me.
Okay. Pass it to Jay.
Probably work my game a little bit more and pay attention to how their demeanor is, because I didn't pay attention at all. He pulled guard, my reaction time was completely slow. Tried to pull, got a weird arm bar. I mean, it happens. I'm going to
Okay.
go back, I'm going to pay attention to everything that they're doing. I'm going to try to counter everything. There's nothing more you can do.
Okay.
Sound like they. Who wrote a script? No one write a script for these kids? What?
Yes. Jason
They
got
over here.
cards.
They got.
I know.
This is
I got anxiety.
Right.
Well, the first thing I did is when he showed up, I looked him in his eye and I knew that. Okay. What you
over
got?
there, Sherlock Holmes in them.
Tron.
If I win again, I would try to learn more guard passes and ways to escape positions, considering the fact that I was putting Mount in other positions and then he held guard, and that's the main reason I lost my match.
Okay.
You sound like they got a really good grasp of their own jiu-jitsu, and it's really impressive. It's very impressive.
Honestly, for me, I'm having trouble figuring out what I want to do better. But one of the things that I would want to work on a little bit is how to escape back. Cause last time I don't know what happened, but the kid I tapped to the choke, but he just asked me if I was okay. He didn't stop the ref didn't stop the match. I was confused why. But my mom and dad said that there might be something illegal to that, the choke he did, or something.
Okay.
I would rewatch my match and see what they did that to me, and learn how to escape or prevent that from happening.
All right.
Excellent.
I would try to know how to get out from an armbar because I got armbarred.
Because you got armbar and you didn't like it. Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys learned from your experience, which is what, on this side, as coaches, that's what we want you to do. Every time you train, you're not always going to win, but if you learn from whatever happened, that's where the true growth begins. And it sounds like you guys are ready to learn and grow. So you guys ready to go back into training camp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing. I could have learned how to not take direct shots on that man.
What was your favorite part of training camp?
Honestly, all of it. I mean, all the work that we put in was grateful. All these coaches, except for you,
I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach.
All the coaches except for Calvin.
I'm not a coach.
Travis watched the streams.
I know where you
or
stay,
whatever.
Derek.
But James and my dad, the work they put in for us, it was great. I couldn't be more thankful for that.
I mean, it was really chaotic, but I loved all of it. I really appreciate how much work and dedication that they put into each and every one of us, even if they don't have the time to like meticulously pick out every single detail that we might be screwing up on just a little bit. Just the fact that they're taking time out of their day to assist us, I really appreciate it.
I appreciated them taking the time out of their day, just like Jason was saying, and I enjoyed like all of the like working the techniques and all the different stuff they put in the camp that wasn't in regular classes.
Me yelling at you to exactly.
Yeah, he yelled at us. He screamed at us so we could hear his voice in pans. Because it was loud. Like, you couldn't hear anything when you're rolling. That's why he yells at us all the time in pans training camp.
I would say the same thing that Jay said, and I like that how sometimes just instead of working, they would let us have a little fun and ankle tag.
Oh, y'all like that ankle tag, huh? Okay.
I enjoyed all of it. It was really fun, and I learned a lot of stuff I didn't learn in the regular class.
I liked it. It was just a little hard.
Okay, so here's a question I got for you guys. If you were to tell a kid that never come in and he wanted to train with us and do the pans, what advice would you give him?
If he was new, I would tell him to take a little bit more time because you don't want to rush things. You wanna build up to work those things. So instead of having him train with us and trying to get into pants straight away, I would tell him to take a year or two and start building up his technique and then go out there.
Okay.
I agree with a lot of what Derek was saying, but if he really had his mindset on wanting to go to pans, I'll be sure to tell him to prep for the anxiety, prep for the amount of people that are going to be pulling guard, doing arm bars, because like a lot of us weren't aware that there were going to be a lot of people that were going to be doing that, and a lot of us got caught off guard by that, and most of us lost to arm bars whenever we did lose. It's either that or by time. I mean, but if I could convince them, I'd probably tell them to start off with some smaller competitions. If they still really wanted to train with us for pans training, that's fine. But start off with a lot of the smaller, closer to home competitions instead of going straight down to pans, down to Florida.
Okay.
I would say about the same that Jason Derek did, but if they didn't listen to anything any of us said, I would say learn as many escapes and like takedowns and all the other stuff that they thought they could use for pans. Just learn as much of that stuff as they possibly could beforehand.
Okay.
I would say everything that everybody else said, but if they didn't, if they didn't listen, like Noah said, Alex, stop.
Okay.
If they wanted to get, if they said, like, no, I don't think I want to do jiu-jitsu anymore, I would say start off in, like, maybe a different class than jiu-jitsu. Well, like, still jiu-jitsu, but, like, a different class that is built to get better and then come into this one.
Yeah, maybe not competition class and then build their way up. I got you, Liam.
I would say the same thing everyone else said, but if I did convince them, get ready for the hard training PANs class.
I would tell them to do jiu-jitsu and judo because judo helps me a lot.
Okay.
Awesome.
To add something onto what Liam was saying, there's been quite a few different days where I feel like I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I just want to stay home. I just don't want to do it. But if you push through it and if you keep showing up, I'm not going to tell you it's going to get better, because there are still going to be some of those days where you just want to lay down, just cry and not do anything. But those are especially the days where you want to come in and you want to work your butt off, because it's going to help you out and it's going to help better you.
Awesome.
Coaches, what's harder, us or them?
Well, it's funny. I kind of listened on the line. All of them were worried about time to prepare and when to be ready and readiness. The reality is, if we wait until we're quote unquote ready to do things, you'll never get there. Right? Like, pulling the trigger, whether you win or lose, and getting yourself out there and experiencing the event, know what to expect the next time, second, third, and fourth time you show up to that event. That's the way, right? So a lot of these kids, they're not created equal. I've seen 6 and 7 year olds at little Liam and Emma's age group who are just absolute killers, and they've been training several years, and it's the only sport they do. Yeah, you got those guys, and you got teenagers at Jace's age who are freaking units. Like, these kids are well built, they wrestle, they're aggressive. So the difference in spectrum of aggressiveness and build up, some 13-year-olds have gotten into their own and grown into their hormones, and some haven't. So it's funny, the ones that said they weren't ready the most were actually the ones that performed the best, and that was the 7-year-olds. Like, they did really well under the lights, under the pressure. They absolutely showed up and put on the best matches of everybody, which is you never know what to expect as a coach until I put the kid out there under duress and see how they respond to that, sympathetic response, that anxiety that we get going to tournaments, which they're right, it never gets better. I've done, I think 50 IBJJF events, and it never gets better. It's still a very anxious experience, but, learning to remove the pressures of performance and having fun under those lights and just do what you do every day anyway is the answer. You go out there letting those nerves get the better of you. A lot of them did, and I saw that in their body language. I was just really impressed that my youngest two didn't have that issue. Maybe it's that lack of experience that helped them do that. They had the least amount of mat time,
free-spirited,
and performed the best. They didn't care.
Yeah.
Liam just wanted to fight.
Yeah,
he looked freaking incredible out there.
I'm surprised you got a shirt on right now.
I did, yeah. Kid ain't worn a shirt all summer. Showed up in the pants. I'm nervous. And then
He's like, I'm out.
All right, no, keep it in. Keep him in.
His first match, man, he was all over that kid, took his back, strangled him. Second match, he just got out wrestled. And that's okay. So now he knows, we need to work on the wrestling defense. But tit for tat, he was there. Emma, same thing, dominated her first match. And the lazy arm lock, like they were saying, was the game of the day. Like, people were pulling guard using Tomonagi, hitting the arm bar big time. And the last several events, that's been a thing. So they've adopted, the refs are now tapping for the kids. So some of them didn't submit. It was a ref, once their arm was locked out, that stopped the match. Just because, 2020, during the COVID year when they had the event, man, every kid, I had 7 kids from Bowen all on ice packs because they didn't tap to an arm bar. Yeah. So safety first. Take care of the kids, make sure they come back the next year, can live their lives, because it ain't worth a medal to give up your arm. But absolutely incredible job, all of them. Yeah.
Coach Travis, what was your experience there? It was your first kids' pants?
It was my first kids' pants.
So how'd you feel about it and watching what they did?
It was awesome to see the kids compete, but it was definitely very nerve-wracking. Like, I've competed myself, but I think I'm more nervous watching them compete because you put their losses on your shoulders, right? And you're like, what did I not teach you to prepare you for this? So,
wow, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, well, every good coach does. What you got, Derek?
Adding on to what my dad said, tap early, tap often.
Yeah.
Live and fight another day.
Quote of my dad. Last words. Famous last words.
I don't know, like, what Travis was saying. Like, whenever I was watching Emma, whenever I was watching Isley, whenever I was watching Noah, like, my anxiety got so bad because I'm like, what if something goes wrong? What if they get hurt? Because, like, there's been some times where kids have done some stuff to some of the kids, and I'm ready to go out there and start fighting them because, you know, like, we're a big family here. We all take care of each other, and, like, my nerves get really, really bad for them, which I know I shouldn't because I know they got this, but, like, it's still the thing in the back of your head that's like, what if something does go wrong? Because, like, you know, you want to protect them as much as you can.
Well, if you don't have those nerves, you're actually in more danger than anybody else because that means you're not worried about anything and you won't protect yourself properly. So it's a good thing to have. You got to be nervous. That's how we feel. Young feel like old. I feel like that old. I don't want to get thrown. If you break something on me, it's going to stay broke for a long time. A long time. So, you know, everybody has that. You know, everybody up here has competed. And we've all been there, and not as much like as to them two, or Travis, but I understand the whole nerve thing and everything. It does not get better.
It was really neat to see the camaraderie around the kids as well. Like Jonathan Williams was texting me every day to find out what mats people were on, what times they're at, so Adele can bring them and make sure they were there early. All right, so it was kind of cool to see them take care of each other. And every time one of them was off the match, you know, they immediately went and hugged him, or they took him out to talk to him for a while.
Yeah,
so it was cool.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
When something that I add on to what I said about the helping them to for pans if they do the pans class, something that helped me when I was overweight, eating healthy, when I went out there, I feel like helped me a lot to do good.
Okay. I'm glad you touched on that. So what was some of the big things Coach Andrew, Professor Andrew was harping on you guys about during the training camp?
Healthy eating habits, circadian rhythm, getting to sleep on time, and only having a certain amount of TV and games.
Awesome. All right.
Big words. There you go.
Did you guys think that helped you guys in your output as far as production?
Oh, yeah, he made us go to bed early.
All right.
It's summer, and we got so angry inside. 10 p.m., I wanted to stay up till like 12.
Yeah, most of y'all was staying up anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm super excited about this. I had a good time with this. And look at you guys. Thought you'd be nervous. You guys are sitting there acting like pros. I'm proud of you. So, for the teammates that could not be here, you guys want to send them a shout out and tell them something? Anybody?
Jonathan Odell Williams. He has made it far in this community. Been training here for 5 years. Makes me work out there on the mat. Taps me out a lot.
Respect. I like that.
All right.
Respect, Eric.
Anybody else?
I'd say one thing with Isley, she gets super, super down on herself whenever she loses. And she really shouldn't, because, like, whenever you try your hardest, like, with that adrenaline pumping, you can't feel, like, anything. And whenever you try your hardest, and even if you lose, like, a lot of people out there did get really down on themselves when they really shouldn't have, because, like, it made everybody's nerves bad, I think.
Well, if you gave your true 100 effort, like, that's all that matters, right?
There's no reason to be upset with yourself.
That's all we care about, right?
May I? Now that you brought that up, you know, one thing it's always the hardest to deal with, especially with the kids, is the parents, believe it or not. So I try and gather them for a meeting and alleviate the questions. And, you know, it's always the ones who don't show up that have the most issues day of the event. You know, so, like, I end up having to go back in on Saturday, right before the event, to take Isley to grab a shirt because her mom forgot it the day before. And I'm like, hey, there's time and place for that. But also know your kids' limitations and their strengths and weaknesses, and don't be unrealistic about that. That's important. You know, if you got a kid who has anxiety, and let me tell you, something like a kid pan event will exacerbate that. Don't lie to yourself. and say they're over prepared or not. Like, you're gonna get what you put in, and the things you know, and when you show up at that event are gonna come out, and how much you put in and prepare to that. So, as parents, I caution you guys, hey, don't have your nose in the air. Be realistic about your kids and their strengths and weaknesses, and give them the best chance to succeed. It's very important, because a couple of them showed up and really had the anxiety got the best of them. The nerves did. And the parents thought they were going to just blow it out of the water. We're down there trying to talk them into getting on the mat type scenario. So that was a tough experience for me. Just the disconnect between what the parents perceive their kids' strengths and weaknesses are versus the reality of such. So get in touch with those things. And next time, don't let the ego get the better of you, because anxiety gets the better of everybody. I say it all the time. Black belts are terrified to show up at these events. I've had 3 years in a row where I show up for Pan or Master World, and my first opponent did not show up. That's an extra hour in the bullpen for me. Now, why they didn't show up, who knows? Maybe they saw a name sign up in the division. They were like, I can't beat that guy. Whatever. It happens all the way up to black belt. People training 10, 15, 20 years still have that happening.
Yep.
Do not be unreal about what your kids struggle with. If they have anxiety, know that. Face that, help them through that so that they have a chance to succeed there. Don't go out there and act like they're over prepared for something they're not. Definitely a bad idea.
Yeah. Realistic expectations, measurable outcomes.
I agree.
All right, cool beans. All right. We normally do a much longer episode, but you guys have what tomorrow? School. All right. So I'm gonna have their first day of school and all this other good jazz. We're gonna do closing comments and then we'll get out of here in a minute. Once again, Mike is not here, but I gotta do it anyway. If you're in the Clarksville, Montgomery County area and you're looking for a great place to train, guys, where's a good place for people to come train?
Renzo Gracie Clarksville.
There we go. Renzo Gracie Clarksville, all right? Combat Sports and Wellness Center. You can come in here for your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for your Judo, for your wrestling, for your boxing and Muay Thai, as well as strength and conditioning, all right? We have our physical therapist in the back with Dr. Tamika Duncan and Vitality Sports and Rehab, and this lovely cast and crew of people that you'll be able to get in the ring, get on the mat, foot, and roll. So if you're in this area, come by and check us out. Have to say that to pay the bills. Once again, another shout out to our friends at Bikes and More, Hopkinsville Community Center, who sponsored this. They wanted to make sure they were attached to this podcast because of these young people right here. So we make sure we give them a shout out and get that squared away. We're going to do closing comments, and then we're going to get out of here. Calvin.
I just want to say,
Even though the kids say you don't do jack.
even though I'm not a coach,
When you're not.
Shots fired.
Realness.
you know what, Jace? I don't got nothing to say. Forget it. These kids that's why you got school tomorrow.
I'll still triangle you on the mat.
Nice. Shots fired.
Jay, get your kid. We're done filming. It's over. Turn off his mic. Coach.
I'm super proud. Since I took over the program as the head instructor, man, the growth here, not only with the adult programs, has been insane. The kids program, like on the local scene, both as team champions at several events, and then, going from 7 competitors last year to having 15 this year. I'm really excited for the growth. All of them, whether they got nervous, performed well, didn't, whatever, the courage it takes to step on that mat, you guys gotta understand, there were every bit of 7,000 people in that arena on the first day. And that was the not busiest one. It was absolute chaos on Saturday. So just to have the courage to step on that mat and give their all, win, lose, or draw, takes a set like most people will never get. So I'm super proud of them. I hope they continue the journey and give it another shot, because it's really, really impressive for me to see their growth and their willingness to go out of their comfort zone, which is the real win, whether you perform well or not.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm super thankful to be able to coach the kids and help coach the kids, because watching their progression is insane. To see them do things that I can't even imagine myself doing when I've been doing it for about 7 years now. And to know that in a few years, they're definitely going to surpass right where I'm at is pretty awesome.
Cool.
I want to circle back. I swear this is the last circle back. I want to circle back to the shouting out people, because Elizabeth and Brooklyn, they most definitely did good. I knew that Brooklyn was super, super nervous. So was Elizabeth. Both of them placed. Really proud of them. They worked their butts off, as they always do. And whenever you're out there, it sucks, but at the same time, it's amazing. And if you're wanting to do it, I'd most definitely recommend doing it.
I'm happy that I have a bunch of coaches and friends willing to help me with learning and practicing, training, and whatever else I need on the mats.
I don't thank all of you guys for giving me a challenge and boosting my morale on the mat. Sometimes these days are tough to be on that mat. Sometimes you just want to cry in your pillow, stay in bed, and just have your lights off with your door closed.
I love the honesty.
That was deep, but that was specific.
R-A-W.
That was specific.
With the lights off.
With the lights off. No lights.
lights on, the curtains are
With the light on.
Like, zero light, you just want to be on your phone all day. Tablet, whatever you got, iPad. For all those Apple users out there. They're the same thing. They're the same thing, okay? They're the same thing.
Boa.
Liam?
But
Oh, well, you're not done. Okay, go.
all of you, I thank all of you guys for having me here. I will be leaving to my mom's in a couple of days, and I thank all of you.
I'm really happy that I have a bunch of coaches that are willing to help me and put in the time to help me get better. And I'm also leaving for 2 weeks to to Georgia. And I also am very I'm happy that I have my sister and all my friends to support me when I ever feel like angry or sad or emotional about this. I have them that can help me to feel better.
I would like to go back to the shout-outs. Liam Camp helped me a lot, and I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for him.
Awesome.
Well, there you go.
It was exciting.
His smile is just like.
It's gold.
Oh my God.
Gold, Emma.
Okay. I had something that was going to be halfway witty that I was going to throw out. It is gone. All I can say is once again, round of applause to these guys, man. You guys did an awesome job. I promised you guys at the beginning of the year that we were going to do this. I told you guys I try to keep my promises. You don't know what I had to go through to make sure that this happened, because I wanted to make sure it happened. I'm so very glad I did. Love you guys. I'm tore up. This was cuteness overload for me. Amazing answers, but reeling it in and getting back to it, and I'm sure Professor will agree. When you guys get a chance to go back and watch this episode, I'm hoping the parents will save it for you. I want you to watch it now, watch it in a year from now, and deeper in your life. Right now, you have a better understanding of what jiu-jitsu truly is than some of the adults who've been practicing for quite some time. If you listen to the things you said, that's what jiu-jitsu is about. That's what life is about. You're talking about sometimes it's hard. You want to sit in your room, turn out the lights and stuff, and cry. Look at your parents. Look at your fathers. Look at your mothers. We feel that. Jiu-jitsu is a way for you to understand that no matter how much pressure you have, there's always a way to shrimp out. There's a way to bridge. There's a way to get to the next position. Does that make sense? I thank you for your words. I thank you for your courage. I am excited for what the future holds for you because I believe you guys are unstoppable. And I'm glad that I was able to share just a little bit in your jiu-jitsu journeys. Okay? This has been my favorite episode of The Aftermath. Mean it. we're gonna wrap this up before you get a whole bunch of blubbering idiots up here. And we're not putting that on camera. All right, thank you guys for signing in. We're signing off. Round of applause for these guys again. Let's get it. Thank you.
We're gonna miss you, Derek, and the whole Hanson family.
Let's also get a round of applause for the coaches because we could not be here without them.
Not me, just them.
Just them, not you, Calvin.
You guys don't clap. I'll clap for you. Don't clap. Just me. Just that's it. Just me. Whatever.
And for the comedy relief.
It's like I was never. I wasn't there. No. Where were you, Calvin? No. Whatever.
He was gone.
Guys.
He wasn't there.
I don't
You're
care.
getting triangled by Jace.
Hey,
Whatever.
I mean, when?
hey, you guys did an awesome job. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah, you guys did great. I'm impressed. Great answers. Like it's impressive. You guys are really smart. You guys are ready to do what you got to do. I like that.
And Liam, you kept your shirt on. I'm so proud of you.
I know, right?
We almost came out of that bad boy. We almost came out of that bad
Hey,
boy.
we'd have the most females on the planet signing up.
Look at him. He's like, I can take this shit off now. All right.
All right.
Love you guys. Get out of here.